Hello and welcome to the Joe Ligato Show. I'm your host, Dr. Joe Ligato, and today we're going to be reviewing the ongoing crisis in the Middle East, the what I'm calling the Judeo-Islamic War of 2023. And we're going to start off talking about what is happening in Israel. Well, we find out from Megatron here on Twitter that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu refused to sign an order to launch a large-scale ground operation in the Gaza Strip for fear of losing the trust of the population if it failed. The New York Times reported, citing sources in the government of the Jewish state. Okay, so this is from yesterday at the time of me making this video. And so I think they're going to have a ground operation. I do not think that they can really hold it off. Well, I think they can hold it off, but I don't think they can completely refuse to have a ground operation because of the way that this has gone about. So I believe that the Israeli government allowed this attack to occur. I don't think they knew the severity of what was going to be happening. And they said that they need to retaliate. And so this is them trying to unify the country after making a pretty big misstep in terms of allowing this attack to happen because it did not unify the country in the way that they had wanted. And their response of saying that a ground operation is necessary came with a lot of extra perils, one of which is that it's pretty definitive that if Israel does commit itself to Gaza, that Hezbollah up in the north will be attacking northern Israel as well. And it's anyone's guess, really, who else would be involved at that point, because there are so many countries. Libya wants to have an oil embargo on every country supporting Israel. Turkey is talking about being a guarantor of Palestine. You have Iran, obviously, providing weapons, equipment to Syria and moving things into position. They're also having various military exercises currently, so they're preparing for things as well. And so things really get bad once the invasion of Gaza starts. And I think Benjamin Netanyahu knows that, but he also knows that his government has been promoting the invasion of Gaza as the solution to all of their problems. And so they can postpone it, but they can't stop it from happening eventually because people are going to be extremely upset if they do. And so that's the solution that their government came up with. It's a horrendous solution. It's going to lead to a lot of innocent lives being lost, but that's modern day Israel. Let's see what China is doing about the situation, though. So China has been very intelligent about how they handle this. This is not a time to be like both siding things. They have very clearly given a bit of an olive branch to Israel by saying, okay, yes, Hamas should not have done the attack. I think that's debatable. If you're occupied, you have every right to defend yourself, which at that point, the occupier is always in the aggressive stance, given international law. But China, Russia gave Israel that. But for the most part, they've been extremely, extremely strongly on the side of the Islamic world. And that makes a lot of sense because they are building a multipolar bloc, and the Islamic world bloc is the largest of those blocks. They are, in a lot of ways, one of the strongest if they ever united. And so we're seeing increasing evidence that they are uniting behind their frustrations with what's happening in Palestine. There are many words I could have used there. I'm just going to go with frustrations for the sake of this right now. So let's see what Chinese state media Xinhua News has to say. China will continue to firmly support Iran in safeguarding its national sovereignty, territorial integrity, and national dignity, and will strongly oppose any external forces interfering in Iran's internal affairs, said Chinese premier. Okay, so this post, it seems that things are boiling in the background to a major conflict. Such statements from China's state authorities are rare. Okay, so a few things I want to say here. One is, yeah, China's usually very subtle about getting points across. They make sure that you understand what they're trying to say, but they try not to directly insult you. They try not to directly accuse you of things. Here they're being very explicit that they believe, and I believe, that the United States military buildup in that region is not a deterrent force. They are meant to be hostile. They are meant to fight a war. And that's what it's coming down to at this point. We have a variety of indications that there are boots on the ground in Israel. There are, we can confidently state, advisors, military advisors in Israel. We know that various bases throughout the Middle East of America are being attacked. Drone warfare, rockets, things like that. And United States is, it looks like, not trying to deter things. They are trying to prepare for the upcoming military conflict. And I think China understands that at this point. And they've clearly picked the side of being on the multipolar world. So this is a really strong statement from a country that you don't typically see these types of statements from. And I don't have a Twitter post, a tweet on that right now, but you also see pretty strong statements from Russia as well. And so this bloc is forming. And so we have another entrance to this situation. The North Korean leader says we are on the threshold of World War III and everyone must prepare. So just, you should be concerned about how things are going. Various world leaders, various politicians, various leaders of major organizations, all types of organizations are saying this is a time to be concerned. Okay, we are really on the cusp of World War III, and this is where I disagree with the Duran to a certain extent. They think that if Russia and China are trying to calm things down, that could de-escalate things from World War III. But the thing is, you need both sides to want to de-escalate. And if America and if Israel and if Ukraine are extremely belligerent and they're just trying to wipe people out like they did in the Donbass and like they're trying to do in Gaza as well, what they've been trying to do in Gaza and the Donbass forever, then it's really hard to calm things down when one side is extremely aggressive. And so I do think that unless saner, cooler heads prevail in the West, which there's no evidence of that potentially happening, I think World War III is pretty much inevitable within maybe weeks at this point, months, maybe years. I do think at this juncture, I think this decade is really going to be pivotal. Things are just coming together so fast here. Okay, so let's see what else is being said. From Middle East Observer, great channel. I believe I'm on their Telegram as well. The Arab Organization for Human Rights says that Jordan allows its territory to be used to transfer heavy military equipment and American special forces to Israel, and we call on the Jordanian government to comply with its declared policies of standing against the war waged by Israel against Gaza. Okay, so you're seeing that there are a lot of powers that the governments are willing to work with the United States and to a certain extent Israel, but their populace are definitely not at this point, given the Judeo-Islamic War 2023. And so these people and some governments are calling on the other governments to quit allowing the transportation of equipment and personnel across their territory. And it's entirely possible that it's coming, okay? Because I don't know how long they can hold off the people. You even see this first post here by Faceplan. The Arab monarchies have betrayed Palestine. Palestine has to rely on Syria, Hezbollah, Iran, Houthis, and militia groups. And all those others listed there, like Syria, those are Shia Islamic groups. And so the Sunni populace are really frustrated because Gaza is a Sunni populace, Sunni Muslim populace. And so they're asking their Sunni Muslim leaders, well, why is it only the Shias that are defending Islam now? Where are the Sunni defenders of the Islamic faith? And these leaders, they've had a cushy deal working with the West. But how long can that last if your populace is very vitriolically anti-West and want you to be very vitriolically anti-West in order to stop this Palestinian genocide? Okay, so things are really heating up, and you see this all across the world too. So Qatar here they gave a death sentence to 8 Indian Navy officials who were arrested for doing espionage for Israel. So like anyone who's associated with Israel, obviously espionage here is bad. They're like, the Muslim countries of the world are increasing their hostility to Israel and Israel sympathizers, and I think that's going to lead to further escalations of this conflict. Okay. So these officials were arrested in Qatar in November last year on espionage charges. The Indian Navy officials who are working on a submarine project were caught doing espionage for Israel. Wow. And they're sentenced to death. I mean, it's concerning on one hand because even if they are caught doing espionage operations, it's so hard to see where India lands in this situation. They have such close ties with Russia, but they're really, I would say, slavishly loyal to Israel and to America, to the point where I'm not entirely sure yet if they're going to be a part of the multipolar bloc. I mean, sure, they're a part of BRICS, but they only tepidly are a part of BRICS. They also really want to have the approval of the West. And the West will never truly give its approval. They just want to use the large Indian population to fight against China. And so it's just, I don't think it's in India's best interest, but there's various factors considering like the Indian leadership's hatred of Islam that is stopping them from being a true member of the multipolar bloc right now. And I was really thinking about this, and I'm not even sure if I want to say it, but I'll say it. There are only a couple religions that I would say are supremacist religions where they say their own population for genetic reasons are supreme. And Judaism really doesn't encourage converts. There's a messy barrier. There's like a difficult process to become a convert to Judaism. And so they are really the like major supremacist religion. And it's ethnic supremacism because people really can't join that religion to a large extent. And India kind of has the same thing going on for itself with its caste system and people like the Brahmin caste being on top. And so there's a certain amount of supremacy there, but it's genetic supremacy for certain people within the religion over other people within the religion. So it's a little bit different, but really, I hate to put it like this, but they do have very supremacist elements. I know it's not all of Hinduism, but there are supremacist elements. There's the caste system within Islam. You don't really see that. You have a lot of converts to, or not within Islam, within Hinduism. You have a lot of converts within Islam. You have a lot of converts to Christianity, Buddhism, Taoism, Confucianism. I mean, no matter what religion you're looking at, there's really few that are truly supremacist, like genetically, ethnically, racially supremacist. And to a very large extent, Judaism is one of those supremacist religions. And to a certain extent, Hinduism, just because of the caste system. So just some pattern recognition, some similarities I was seeing there. But I do think that Hinduism needs to move away from its caste system. That's just not something that's acceptable in the 21st century. And they need to understand that Israel and America is not their future. But so far, they don't understand that. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, so this is where I'm going to wrap up. And I've been talking about this a lot, and it seems like there's a lot of conversations going on behind closed doors. And this should be concerning to the United States because the United States is not included in these conversations anymore. It used to be that they were a mediator. Everyone wanted to talk to the United States to solve problems. Now they're going to China, and now they're talking amongst themselves. And now they're going to Russia as well. And so here we see 9 Arab countries: Bahrain, Egypt, Jordan, Kuwait, Morocco, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and United Arab Emirates issue a joint statement condemning the targeting of civilians in violation of international law in Gaza, adding that self-defense does not justify neglecting the rights of Palestinians. And so you're going to see more and more of this, where so far it does not seem like one country wants to go out on a limb and like pick a fight with Israel. But I do think you're probably going to see, if a major regional power, say like a Turkey, gets involved, I think other countries will follow in its footsteps. But if one of those major countries doesn't initially get involved, you might see an alliance of countries get involved. And we've seen this in prior conflicts with the tensions between Israel and its Muslim neighbors. And so, wow, I say this every video, but you should be concerned about the state of the world right now. Like, really, really, really concerned. Okay. So that's what I'll leave you with. I just wanted to end with coalitions are forming, and America is not a part of those coalitions anymore. So if you're an American watching this, or if you're a Westerner watching this, the world is moving on without you. So if you found this video to be informative, please give us a thumbs up on Rumble and on YouTube. Please subscribe to our channel on Rumble and YouTube. We're getting a lot of engagement on Rumble, a lot of enthusiasm on Rumble. We're moving towards Rumble as much as we possibly can. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, critiques, please let us know. I'm always reading the comments. I love engaging with all of you. I love seeing that we have some returning viewers. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye.